Hello everyone, it's AG. So yesterday I was working on a video concerning LGBTQ plus literary classics, and whilst I was going over the books that I had found, I decided to recite one of the poems from a poetry collection, namely Myrtle, Rue and Cypress, a book of poems, songs and sonnets. And this was written by Count Stenbock, who was a Baltic and Swedish count from the 19th century. And I don't know why I decided to recite it, but for some reason I did it, and I found the first poem, Memoria, and just read it out loud. And for some reason it really resonated a lot with me, and so today I am not feeling that well mentally, so I figured I would just recite some of the poems from this collection, and hopefully it will bring you some solace, some enjoyment, as I'm hoping it will do for me. So yes, let's get started. So this is the first one. It's called Memoria. Her name is written in the snow, in the skies above, in the seas below, on the cold grey sand that all may know. Her name is even Memory. She looks with introverted eyes on the ravening sea and the riven skies, and the voice of the shell in her hand replies with the old world stories of the sea. She hearkeneth to the wild sea's roar, to the splashing spray on the sad seashore, pondering on all things gone before, listening unto the lyre of love, who sings the songs of the old dead days, of the form once fair and the once loved face. And the song resounds from the barren ways of the echoing rocks above. Soul-rendering sorrow and piercing pain, the sickle hath passed through the golden grain, and wilt thou strive to look yet again on the old shed smiles and the old wept tears, sheeted shadows of the past, seen through the mist veil, pale aghast, with the white light on their faces cast, of the snows of bygone years. This one is called Valse de bacchantes. With tremulous feet advancing that hardly touch the ground, fair forms embracing, dancing, and lightly whirling round. With sounds of joy and gladness, as a cloud that the moonlight sears, is mingled a tone of sadness from a far-off region of tears. They tread the mystic measure in garments of beauty clad, yet even in their pleasure there is something passing sad. None knows what woes come after, and none can say where he steers, and the echo of their laughter is wet with the dew of tears. Ah, look upon their faces, seen passion pale through the glare, their close and wild embraces, hot lips and flaming hair. One would say some bitter madness was shed on their tender years, unsoftened into sadness at the welcome wellspring of tears. Delirious turning as a flame in the fretful fire, with the blood in their faces burning with the greatness of their desire. Who knows what woes comes after, in a twilight of hopes and fears, for the roots of the trees of laughter are close to the well of tears. This one is called Nightingale. A nightingale sat at my window casement, and sang to me all night long, and my soul soared over my heart's abasement, and swam through the night of the waves of song. By the wings of music my spirit aided, flew forth and pierced through the heart of the night, till sunlight, moonlight, and starlight faded in the mystic glow of a purer light. What passion of music that moves to madness? What secret thing doth the song express? What access of joy that is well nigh sadness? What agony bitter beyond redress? What lights of love and what pangs of passion through the thrilling throbs of thy wild notes swell? What words too wondrous for tongue to fashion would sit to thy sweet song? Tell, ah, tell. Yet then methought that I caught some meaning, some half suggestion too strange to say, some sing sheaf that fell from the gleaning of a heavenly harvest far away, and my soul was loosed from the bonds that bound me, and my heart for a moment forgot its pain, but daylight hath woven a shadow around me, and the veil half lifted has fallen again. The rain fell fast, the wind was wild. I saw the image of my child, as in a vision of the night, at the first grey streak of the morning light. Thy face is somewhat pale, I said, and thine hair is tangled about thine head. The wind is wild, no wonder then, my hair is tangled, he said again. But from thine head unto thy feet, thy form is wrapped in a long white sheet. My clothes were wet through with the rain, I put on this sheet till they dry again. Come hither, darling, and I will fold thee to my heart, for thy hands are cold. No wonder my hands are cold, he said, for very cold are the hands of the dead. The seagull, ah, whither sailing, far over sea, so wildly wailing as in agony? O seagull, slowly swooping westwardly wearily, whither, ah, whither, tends thy far floating flight? Thither, thither, where at fall of night the waves gleam glorious and golden with rolling and refluent light. For there, even there, have I built my nest in the bright islands, where in the waning west I seek ere the fall of the sunset at length to lay me to rest. The Aeolian harp, wail for the world's wrongs. Shelley. Thou art the wind's lyre that the wind plays upon with vibrating tone, like the flickering of fire with wild wailing moan, wild as the heart's desire. I love thy sad song and that vibrating tone that is most like a moan that the winds bear along as they shudder and groan and wail for the world's wrong. Light breezes that blow, that bear with you along the soft current of song, with sound sweet and low. Wail for the world's wrong, weep for the world's woe. Ah, languishing lyre, with rhythmical flow and sound sweet and low. Like the flickering of fire, weep for the world's woe, wail for the heart's desire. Golden dreams. Ah, gloom devoid of gladness. Ah, the sadness. Ah, the madness. Ah, vision rendering dusk, dream scorning morning light. Ye have woken, ye have broken that fleeting dream of gladness. They are vanished, they are banished, the sweet visions of the night. I dreamed of you, my darling, that I again had found you. I had dreamed it twice already, so I knew it was not true. That I again had found you, and wound my arms around you, and your eyes looked up so sweetly, just as they used to do. And you told me that you loved me, and you said that you had missed me, and that we, thought rent in sunder, should be brought together again. And so warmly you embraced me, and so tenderly you kissed me, that my heart was glad within me as the sunshine after rain. And you told me, oh so sweetly, you would stay with me forever. And I had so much to tell you that I scarce knew what to say, when a single streak of sunlight this golden dream did savour, and the fabric of the vision like a vapour rolled away. Is so very little pleasure worth such bitter disappointment, and is a joy so fleeting worth so long an after pain? Are the wounds that were so galling cured by the costly ointment? For I knew, dear, 'twas not true, dear, that you would come back again. The lunatic lover. Ah, love, I dreamed of thee last night, of strange lips kissing me with subtle penetrating pain. A moon veil shrouded thee. I shudder when I think of this, that a moon veil shrouded thee. Thine eyes had in them all the light of the moonlight on the sea. Thine eyes are beautiful and soft as the eyes of seraphim. Ah, limpid, liquid, lustrous eyes, sad eyes, half bright, half dim, half without light, half brighter bright than the eyes of seraphim. That strange magnetic glance that gleams from those mystic eyes of fair, that face so brilliantly pale, and yet without so fair, and yet withal so fair, love pale and passion pale, and yet so marvellously fair, that countenance corpse like refined and subtle coloured hair. Thy slender limbs that seem to burn, thy fester through with fire, that serpentine electric form half quivering with desire, thy movements full of grace divine as the music of the lyre. Alas, for whoso looks on thee feels new and strange desire. The serpent winds around his heart, his soul is turned to fire, as though within his veins there ran a current of hell fire. I know that long ago the moon with silver feet crept to thy bed, close to thine head, and kissed thy forehead sweet, giving thy lips strange wine to drink, and alien flesh to eat, and apples culled from the Dead Sea, which are the serpent's meat, fruit from the tree by the Dead Sea, whose fruit is death to eat. The storm. Love, hold me fast, hold closely and bind me, in thine arms closely wind me, that death may find us together at last. Ah, God, wilt thou now smite us? 'Twill but delight us, thy scorpions are milder than a rod. We count it bliss, for love what bliss is, more sweet than thy kiss is, and even God hath not robbed me of this. Let tempests rave beyond all morrow, all joy, all sorrow, we lie entwined in our deep sea grave. I, love, with thee will lie together through wind and weather, where the waves hardly waver or storms shake the sea. The Vampyre. Ich liebe dich, mich reizt deine schöne Gestalt, und bist du nicht willig, so brauch ich Gewalt. I would seek thee in secret places, in the darkest hour of night, embrace thee with serpent embraces, delight thee with strange delight. In a serpent's coils entwine thy supple and exquisite form, and drink from thy veins like wine, thy blood delicious and warm. With slow, soft, sensual sips, draw the life from the tender spray, and brush from thy soft, lithe lips the bloom of thy boyhood away. I would breathe with the breath of thy mouth, and pang thee with perfect pain, and the vital flame of thy youth should live in my limbs again, till the vital elastic form should gradually fade and fail, and thy blood in my veins flow warm and glow in my face that was pale. So I think I'll leave it at that. To be honest, I'm actually feeling much better. If you've watched this video all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you got something useful out of it. Nevertheless, if you do enjoy the content that I make on this channel, perhaps consider joining my Patreon or gifting me a coffee. That all really helps with ensuring that I can continue to make content like this in the future. You can also support me by liking, subscribing, hitting the bell button, yes, and commenting, of course. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much, and I hope to see you soon in a new video.